What's going on, everybody? So before we get into this video, I decided we're going to do the drizzle, the D1. So we're going to give that gun away, this giveaway. So this will be the video for entry. So if you need to put a comment down in the section below. I don't know what guns I'm going to do next. It's probably going to be the Porpoise or the Eastwood maybe, or the DV1. It's going to be one of those three. I got a couple that came in yesterday that we still got to do a review on, but this one here will be the one that we're going to give away this go around. So do not forget to put a comment in the comment section below, and congrats on the last winner. Awesome, I'll get that out to you here in the next couple days. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? So today we're going to talk about Clearcoat. We got a bumper here that had some repairs done on it. So we'll get some base coat on here, and then we're going to talk about how to spray clear. So that's the main goal of the video, is clear, not base coat today. But I guess I'll just go ahead and spray the base on here anyway. Now, whenever you are spraying base, you want to make sure that you get it as smooth as possible. So if it's hot, make sure you use a slow reducer. If it's 70, 75, make sure you use a medium. If it's lower than that, use a fast. But you always want to make sure that your base coat lays flat, because if you do not, your clear coat's going to follow. So if you've got a really rough or orange pilly base coat, your clear coat's going to follow and be exactly the same. So you always want to use the right products whenever you can. Let's let this flash off and get everything going, and we'll come back and try and get some clear coat. Alright, so this is all flashed off now, we're good to go. So we only blended until about right here. We stopped our blend about midway, and then the rest of this will be cleared, so that way everything matches there. So we got our clear coat, we're using the 5500. Alright, so we're using the 5500. My needle and trigger setting is about a 1 turn in. So backed all the way out, and turned in until you can feel your trigger until it moves, and then it's about another turn there. I'm spraying it like 24 to 26 psi. I'd have to look over there. And then we got a filter on the bottom of our gun. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start spraying and kind of show you how the clear melts together. That's kind of the step I want to show you. All right, so now you see like how there's still little spots that look like dust in there. So that's not a full covered, it's not fully covered right there. So you'll go back over it again, and you kind of want to get it to where it's melting together. That's all you want. You just want one good little coat where it's melting, and then go on. You don't want to make your first coat heavy like it's your last coat. You want the first coat to bind everything, kind of stick, get real tacky. You want to feel like the back of a piece of tape. So when you go to put on your second coat, it should feel tacky, about like the back of a piece of tape. That's when it's time for your second coat. But your first coat is to stick to, the second coat to stick to. So if you put too much on the first coat, you'll get a run. That's what your run is from. So we'll go ahead and spray the rest of this, and we'll come back and then show you the second coat as well. And you can take your time when you're doing this. You don't have to hurry. If you want to try it slowly, that's fine, depending on your temperature and everything you're using. You want to make sure that you get like all your edges in here. Even if you're spraying where it's not even visible, you want your clear coat to go in there, so that way you have a good adhesion, and it can't peel off the edges later, because it will peel back. You see how like right, and it just melts together. That's what you want. Got a couple little pieces in there. Nothing bad. So we'll let that tack for probably 15 minutes, maybe 10. It's not very warm today. And then we'll come back with our second coat, and then we'll show you how that works out, and then how to find out if it's tacky or ready. All right, so we're back. This is ready for the second coat now. It's been about 15 minutes. So what I want to show you is stick your finger on your tape, and it's not stringy, but it's sticky. Like you can see that. That's when it's ready. That's when you know that you're ready to put your second coat on. Don't touch the paint, nothing like that. Just try to do it on your tape. And if it sticks and wants to pill up a little bit, it's good. If it's still stringy, I'd wait just another 3-4 minutes and then go from there. So we'll start putting this coat on. My fan setting, so my fan is wide open, and then it's about a turn in. So you start turning in until you see your fan, the edges of your fan just start moving. Stop right there. That's the perfect setting to go with. All right. So as you can see, it'll go on. Now this, your second coat, you want to go a little slower. You want to kind of make it a little heavier. You're trying to make this your finished coat. You want it to be shiny, smooth, slick. So you go a little bit slower on your second coat. Now if you've got a lot of contours like this, you want to kind of be careful around them. I'm kind of used to it, so it's kind of not very hard for me, but you want to be careful around them because it doesn't take much to build up some paint around it or clear coat, and then it'll start running around the edges or down in there. And you don't really want to come and do them first and then come back, because now you're putting more clear coat in that area and then it's more likely to run. So we'll get this finished up here. We'll take a look at it, see what it looks like. So you can see we got a couple little specks in there, nothing major. Probably just run the buffer over it. But that's the kind of finish you want. You want it slick, smooth, and sure, it does sound easy, and it's not easy. It's taken years to get to that. Now, a lot of it depends on the clear coat you're using. So if you're using a cheap clear, a watery clear, the problem I don't like with those is they don't last long. You might get a year or two out of them if the car sits outside. But when you put the clear on, it's so thin that it shows anything, any little speck, anything. So your thicker clear is kind of hide that stuff. It builds layers, which is one of the reasons why you kind of want to also let it tack off and, you know, dry out like it's supposed to. But your thinner clears run faster. Some of them set up a little faster, but the main thing you want to do is, so, okay, if you're painting and you live in Texas, it's 95 degrees, you want to use a slow hardener, sometimes extra slow. That way everything has time to flow together and it's not drying as fast. Because if you use, let's say you used a medium hardener in Texas or wherever at 95 degrees, it's going to dry before it can even flow out. It's going to hit the panel and then it's going to start drying. So it's going to be real orange pilly. And you're not, it doesn't matter how you spray it, you're going to be like, well, how come I'm getting orange peel or dry spots? And that's one of the reasons why. So you want your paint to stay open as long as you can, depending on the temperature and the size of the panel. So if you're doing a car, you definitely want everything as slow as you can get it without having problems, depending on your temperature. But man, there's really not a lot to it, you guys. You know, it looks hard, but it's really not. Just get you an old fender. You know, go to the junkyard, tell them you want a beat up fender for $5 or $10. Sand it down, paint it. You don't like it, sand it down, paint it. I mean, you can paint it and sand it as many times as you want. You know, and that's a lot of things I know a lot of people have done to try and, you know, get better at it. But, you know, none of us is perfect. I don't care who you are. Everybody makes mistakes in this game. I can tell you that. I don't care who you are. You will have a problem. But hey, guys, that's all I wanted to show you today. I want to let you know that. If you got any questions, throw them in the comment. And, you know, I try to answer everybody, get back to everybody, you know, whatever. But I appreciate it. If you guys haven't liked, shared, subscribed yet, you need to hit those buttons. All right, peace.